what you want, what you want.
For this project, we're going to need an empty salad dressing bottle, Mod Podge, a paintbrush, tissue paper, a stamp, and paper clay. So the first thing I did here was remove the labels from the bottle. After doing this, really, you don't need to remove the labels. You can just leave them on. It'll work fine with them on. Also, I was using a heat gun to try to peel them off easier. The plastic on this bottle was very, very weak, and it distorted the bottle very easy. So I would recommend not using the heat gun to take care of that. Once I had all the labels removed from the bottle, just took a paintbrush dipped in Mod Podge and completely covered the bottle with Mod Podge all the way around. Once I had it covered, I took the tissue paper, wrapped it around it, stuck it to the bottle, and then came back through and put another layer of Mod Podge over the bottle. Then I set this out to dry. Now once this was dry, I tore off the top excess bits of tissue paper and then did one more layer of tissue paper with small pieces of tissue paper one at a time. This gave better control to lay the tissue paper out a little bit better against the bottle and keep the shape of the bottle. Now once this was dry, I decided to add an emblem to the center of the bottle by taking a small piece of clay, flattening it out, and then taking a poison stamp and stamping that into the clay. Now I would recommend for your clay that you use the toilet paper recipe for the clay. This clay was an old batch and it was made out of the green insulation, and it really didn't take the stamp as well as I wanted to, but it still worked. So once I put the stamp in, I just went around the edges and did a final cleanup and gave it a little bit of shape. Now once the stamp was dry, because I didn't want to mess it up, I went back with my clay, and again, this is an old batch of clay. I would recommend a brand new batch of clay, and once again use the toilet paper recipe for this. Anyway, I came back across the bottle, and where this bottle had distorted from using the heat gun, I decided I would build it out with clay to kind of bring back out a good shape of the bottle. That way we didn't have this twist and distortion to the bottle itself. It also enhanced, by the time we were done, it really enhanced the look of the bottle too. Again, this tutorial is a quick and dirty, easy way to make a witch's potion bottle. For you, if you go into this project, the sky's the limit. You can be as detailed as you want to be with one of these bottles, or you can be just as fast and dirty as this bottle is itself. No matter what, by the time you're done and you have this in your haunt or wherever you have it, it will read as a potion bottle and work out just fine for you. Now, what I'm doing here, this clay, like I said, was old. It wasn't wanting to work well with me, so to help smooth this clay out and bring it along, I just used a paintbrush dipped straight into paper mache paste to kind of bring back some life to the clay and to smooth it out as well and just make a better blend, because it was really chunky looking. I wasn't happy with it, but by coming back over with a paintbrush and some paper mache paste, I was able to revitalize the clay in a way and then smooth it out. That way it looked quite a bit better. Now the next step in this project was to create a cork style cap for the bottle. This is very simple to do. Just took a little bit of plastic, shoved it down inside the bottle, taped it off at the top so it wouldn't move. Once I had that taped into place, then we just took a small ball of clay and shoved it down inside the top of the bottle itself, and that plastic will hold it into place, and then quickly shaped up a top that looked something like a cork or just something like a different lid other than the salad dressing bottle lid itself. Now once this completely dries, all you have to do is remove your lid from the bottle, trim it up a little bit, and you're done. Now we're ready for paint. The first layer of paint is going to be an exterior black latex paint. Once that dries completely, we'll come back across it with some white and do a white dry brush over the entire thing. Now once this dries, we're going to add color to it. And I chose to go with earthy colors for mine. So in the first step, what I used was a terracotta color. Now, I didn't run this just straight. What I did was make a wash. So I added a little bit of paint and then added some water to the paint to thin it out, and then applied it to the bottle. Now this color I just used for the outside edging of the bottle and the bottom. So basically everything that we did with the clay work to bring the bottle back to its original shape. This is the only part of the bottle that we're going to paint this terracotta color. We water it down because once it dries, you can see the difference between the white and black backgrounds in the paint, and it adds some depth to your paint itself. The color I chose for the emblem is a linen. It's a Folk Art 420 linen, and again I made a wash with this and then just washed over the little emblem itself. For the remaining part of the bottle, I chose this yellow ochre color. It's kind of a mustardy color. It's different, but it works out well. Now this I did not turn to a wash at all. This is the straight paint applied right to the bottle, so I didn't water this down. It's just the paint itself. Also, not only did I paint the bottle this color here, I also painted the cap of the bottle this same color. Now to kind of blend all these colors together and bring out some highlights in the bottle, I used a very, very watered down black paint. Just painted this straight onto the bottle, let it set for a little bit, and came back over with a paper towel and lightly blotted it to bring up the excess paint and just leave that black staining down in all the creases and all the crevices in the bottle. It gives it a nice aged look. I did this to the cap as well. This black wash really gives a nice, dirty, aged look to any project that you're doing. Now to give this bottle a little more interesting look, I used jute twine to wrap the entire top side of the bottle here. I started off just by hot gluing the jute twine down to the top of the bottle. Once that was glued into place, and just simply wrap the entire top side of the bottle with the jute twine. Now make note, as you come all the way down and you get towards the bottom of the bottle, go ahead and add a little more glue to that jute twine and then work your way back up the top of that bottle again. Once that's done, the last thing we do is hot glue the lid into place. And then we got ourselves a quick, dirty, pretty good looking little witch's bottle that can be used anywhere in any scene to add just a little more eye candy to whatever you're doing.
What you want, what you want.